Hey guys, it is time for a brand new Spotlight on. I've got Nicky Whelan live in the studio. Check it out.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello and welcome to the AFTERBUZZ Studios. It is a Spotlight on. If you have not already, go to youtube.com/AFTERBUZZ TV. Hit subscribe. We're also on and SoundCloud. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. I'm joined by the lovely Nicky Whelan.
I love how I'm just retweeting your tweet.
Yay!
And trying to learn the lyrics to this song.
Yeah, our new song that we're going to learn the lyrics to.
By Kira.
I love it. Welcome. Thank you so much for being back at AFTERBUZZ.
Thank you. It's cool. I love it. I've been to this location twice now. And I've been coming since the house way back when.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so you're like an AFTERBUZZ pro.
No, not really. Last time I was sitting on the couch. This is
new?
Yeah.
We let you sit at the table now. Mm-hmm. That's what happens. You moved up.
Yes, I did.
So we're going to talk a little bit about your career and everything, and then we're going to talk about what you've got coming up tomorrow, as well as other things that are coming up. So I want to take us back. I want to take us back to Scrubs.
Oh, okay.
I want to take us back to the Scrubs
I never know
days.
what you guys are going to ask.
Well, I just want to know, because Scrubs is like a show that really meant so much to people.
Yeah.
Do people still talk to you about Scrubs? I mean, aside from myself.
It's funny because I had really long, crazy hair when I was doing Scrubs, and a lot of people don't recognise me. Now I've got a bit more hair again. People will be like, "Oh, you on Scrubs?" Like, it's a thing. It's such a cult following, and I think it was like I was in the 9th season, but the 8 years of the show, the 8 first seasons were huge. And then when I came on, they brought on.
Right.
You watched it, right?
Oh, of course I did.
Okay, so they still had the original cast, but they brought this new family on, and it just sort of didn't click, even though they were all amazing actors. And I had known the show, but I wasn't fully familiar with it, so I sort of came on, and it was so random, but it was good. It was a good gig for me to do because I was a series regular. I wasn't a lead, and it was good to. I'd sort of only been in LA a couple of years, so I had a good chance to sort of see what TV life was like every day and sort of be on set, and yeah, so it was good way to start. I didn't get thrown into something huge straight away.
Yeah, you were on the final season, the season that everyone was so sad.
It was sad. It was a whole thing over there. Yeah.
It was crazy. And you got to be Australian. You get to be Australian a lot.
Maybe because I've got a really really bad American accent. No, well, I had auditioned for something else, and one of the writers on the show was like, "You're not right for this, but I'm going to put you in our show Scrubs." And I was like, and he goes, "And you can be Australian." So that was more of I'd auditioned for something else in an Australian accent, and the whole show was about me being Australian.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was all these jokes all the time and stuff. And
Well, yeah. Because it makes sense. But you also recently were on the final season of House of Lies.
The final season.
It was the final season.
Yeah.
And you played Claire, the Instagram star, which I think is the greatest.
Because I'm always on Instagram.
That was the best. I like that show brings up really relevant things.
Yeah.
And Instagram celebrity is a thing. Mm-hmm. How much research did you do for that? Were you just constantly taking pictures of yourself?
Well, no, because they gave me a set phone and I was running around set taking heaps of pictures. But I mean, we all know our hashtags. It's so gross. So like, it was very funny when I was reading it because that's what the whole thing is about. Hashtag this, hashtag. And she's a chef and she's like crazy. So I'm glad they made that character funny because it was intense. If you saw.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot. But they're such a good cast of people over there. They're all so professional and talented, and I didn't care what I was doing because I was around some of the best actors in the business.
Yeah.
And Don Cheadle's amazing, and they're clever and they're funny, and it was really good. It was good.
Joining 2 shows in their final season, do you feel like you're going
The bad luck?
No, because
that makes the show shut down.
They knew ahead of time. It wasn't a surprise. But you come in, and and people always say that shows are like a family.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the stepchild, or do you feel like they welcome you in like a new wife?
The good sets, the really professional sets. I love that you just snorted.
Yeah.
Will make you feel so warm and welcome, and like you don't feel like that. They really looked after me on both shows actually, and I sort of knew some of the crew from Scrubs before I went on it, so it was sort of. But they do end up being lifelong friends, and you sort of stay friends with these people, and sometimes you'll cross over and work with them again, which I love, because when you're on TV, especially for years and years at a time, or you do a full season, it becomes your family, and even doing those guest spots, still, they're very warm, and especially with some of the stuff that you have to do, like...
Yeah.
They make you, feel at home pretty quick.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the stuff you have to do. You do quite a few projects where you are unclothed.
It's so funny because I'm like the most shyest person, and I really am. Like, my fiance's sitting there, he can tell you. Like, I'm super not. When I was in my 20s, I was like whippity snap, like jumping around all the time. But I'm not like that anymore. I always get cast for it, and I don't know whether like to be like flattered or insulted. I don't know.
Why would you be insulted?
Well, I don't know, because it's it is always. A lot of the projects I've done recently haven't. I've got to keep my clothes on, thank God. But it is flattering to think that they want me to get my gear off. But so much TV is nude now, and it's not as shock value anymore. So I don't feel as crazy doing it. Back in the day when I did Hall Pass, I remember I got the movie. I was like, yeah, I was so excited. And then at the end of the phone call, my agent goes, and by the way, you got to go topless, but we'll talk about that later. And I was like, I had no idea. It's the first time.
Yeah.
So that was the first of this sort of. Now I'm probably better at it now, and especially with cable TV, there are no limits, so you have to be open to things and fine with it. But I don't know, it is weird. It's weird for everyone has different experiences. Some girls just like whip around, don't care, and like other people like me are quite like it's a lot. You're not only performing, but you're also revealing everything. It's just another phase of sort of acting, I guess, another place to be in. But I've worked with really professional people, like the best. Whenever I've done these scenes, it's always been with some of the most amazing actors in the world, like Owen Wilson and Don Cheadle, and you can't get better actors than these guys. That it's not a weird situation.
Right.
Everyone has a different feeling about it. I'm like, I don't know.
But they make you feel comfortable.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They're so professional about it. Yeah. And like I said, it's so normal now. Like you see so much crazy stuff on TV now that no one cares about like someone being nude anymore. It's like, nah. Everyone's so weird. We're so, what's real and what's not anymore.
Yeah.
You don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So.
Yeah, absolutely. TV has changed. And
it really...
I mean, yeah. I was gonna... Yeah, Game of Thrones.
Which I don't watch. Don't kill me. But I have seen...
I can't.
Don't be mad.
I can't. This interview's over. I can't.
I know, but it's...
But you plan
I've seen bits of that. And everyone's getting sliced up and blown up and getting, like, shagging each other. Hardcore. I'm like... like, it's full... It's gut-wrenching. I saw the episode recently where everyone just gets killed, and I was like, this is painful every week. This is hardcore.
Was it a battle scene?
Something blew up with green everywhere.
Oh yeah, okay.
That episode. Yeah. I want to give away too much for people that watch Game of Thrones.
That's great. That was great. Well, let's talk about Rebirth on Netflix. This is being marketed as a twisted psychological thriller. And from the promo, it looks a little scary.
Yeah.
You don't think it's too scary?
I think I'm just too attached to it. And it was so heavily a part of the process that we went to, it was at the Tribeca Film Festival. So I went with a bunch of people, and it was a New York audience, and I was fascinated to see what people thought of it. And everyone comes out with a different feeling about it. I'm sort of laughing going through and going, I remember, I don't know, I'm the, yes, it is definitely that. But it's also, I don't know how, I can't explain. You've got to see it and have your own take on it. You might think it's funny. You might see, because there's an underlying jokes in it throughout the whole thing. But it is scary at some point, but it's not like scary. And it is mind sort of, screws around with your mind a little bit. I want people to see it and literally tweet me and tell me what they think.
Yeah.
I don't know how people feel about it or how they react to it. Like, everyone's opinion is different.
Well, so let's go over the plot so that maybe people can get kind of a better idea, right? Because it's about a man whose roommate comes and invites him to relax.
Yeah, well, he's married with kids, and he's living this very mundane life.
Yeah.
He's sort of part of this 9-to-5 system every day, and out of the blue, his old mate shows up and he's like, come away to a retreat with him for the weekend. And he's like, oh my God, so, when you're in a pattern, you're like, a pattern. He actually has to think about it, ends up going, and he thinks he's going to be going to some organic, beautiful retreat with, some beach sort of thing. Cut to, it's like an insane asylum. Like, it's crazy what goes on in there. It's meant to be doing you good, and, that you sort of, he goes on this journey through there, and I work for this company that in there, and I sort of torture him and manipulate him and sort of send him a little bit crazy throughout his whole journey in there. And
what a fun role.
It's really fun. I never get to do that. It was really good.
Yeah, that sounds so different than what we've seen for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like, I haven't seen it yet, and I'm so excited because I feel like you'd be great at that.
Oh, thank you. It was good fun. It was really, as soon as I read it, when I was reading it in my head, I was playing it how I was going to do it straight away. And the director saw it straight away, and he got me to come in and read with him. He goes, what you did, like, I don't know, it must have just been how I felt that when I was reading it. When you read scripts, sometimes you cast it in your head just to make the picture come alive. And I'd cast myself as this girl, and I was just seeing how I'd make a sort of play, and I know a few people in LA like her. So I was like, I'll use you and I'll use you. Just like...
Have you told them?
No. But, well, I don't know them that well. But, you know, when you're in LA living here, there's all these fancy cults and different sort of things you can become a part of, and self-help. And I love self-help. Right. I love self-help books. I love all that. So I think it's great. But when you overindulge, it gets a little out of control. And this is an example of that. The ending's really good. I can't describe the ending because it'll give it away, but the ending's great.
All right.
Yeah.
In the film, do they use the term cult? Is that a...
They do, because there is a stage where he's like standing there and everyone's going crazy and they're like, not a cult, not a cult, not a cult. And he's, and clearly it is. So it's like that.
I feel like that's such a culty thing to do.
Yeah. It's that's the sort of underlying jokes throughout the whole movie, but that's why when people are like, it's scary, I think I'm just reading it as like, you know,
I do think that it might be that people are afraid of cults, and that might be what the fear is, that it's a scary, because it's about this group think mentality.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, you don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole with any of that stuff. Like, I've sort of dabbled in things and been a part of things, and I get interested in different, you know, things around LA. But I think if you get too crazy into it, it can completely, you know, consume your life, and then you forget to just live in the moment and actually be here and present. These cults tend to take over everything, and then you're monitoring and auditing your thoughts every minute, and it's just crazy. It's interesting, it's fascinating, and I love all the topics, but if you spend every day in it, I think you forget to live. I really do. I think you can take bits and pieces of it, but just get back into the real reality of the moment. And that's the problem with cults. People get so consumed by them, and everything they do is, would the church be okay with this, or would something be okay with this? I think it's a little bit of balance. That's my opinion.
Yeah. So Rebirth comes out on Netflix July 15th. Yeah. That is tomorrow. How exciting. When did you guys shoot this film?
Like nearly a year ago. Like so long ago that it's just weird to be talking about it now, which is always the way. So
how long was the shooting process?
I think it was like a month.
Okay.
Shot in a month in LA. A lot of random locations downtown, broken down weird places, creepy places that so filthy
this is
and
why
dirty.
People think it's scary, because you shot it.
The location was scarier than the actual movie, let me tell you. Like, there was stuff on the ground, and I was like, ugh, like they hadn't cleaned up anything. Like, it was insane where we were shooting. It was rough. I was like, I'm gonna get poisoned in here. Like, we were all freaking out. You'll see the scenes they use and how it's shot. It looks awesome. It looks beautiful, but it was very dirty and filthy, and even the guys were complaining, because then you know.
Then you know.
Girls are a little precious, but the guys were like, I'm out of here. So it wasn't just me.
And you don't get to be Australian in this movie.
Not this one.
Oh. You're doing an American
I wanted
accent?
her to be American. I wanted her to be. Okay. I visualised her being American, wanted it. They could have made it Australian. Yeah. But,
right.
There's a twist at the end. I can't tell you. There's a twist at the end.
She is Australian. Oh.
Maybe. See, I can't tell you. Just watch it.
I can't wait to see it. I know what I'm doing tomorrow. So you're also, this was announced that you're going to be joining season 3 of From Dusk Till Dawn, the series on El Rey.
Yes.
That's all we know. They haven't said anything about your character, anything about anything.
The diehard fans know who my character is, because it's one of Robert's original characters. I won't say her name, but if you're a follower of all his work, it's one of his characters that he puts in a few of his movies and shows. So it was cool that they got me to play this character. It's really cool to be a part of his mix. I did Matador a few years ago with him, that series. That's what I came into AFTERBUZZ for that last time. And I knew this whole family down there. They're awesome. It's cool. And they shoot in New Mexico, and you actually feel like it's all really happening down there.
Yeah.
It's full on. I broke my finger on set.
Wow.
It's very sexy.
It's beautiful.
I didn't get it fixed. So now, I come back with a little war wound. A vampire fell on me.
As one does.
As one does.
Yeah.
That was another fascinating thing about being on that set. Like, I haven't been on zombie sets and things like that. And if there's just dead bodies and blood, people with knives in them, and like, it's hardcore all day long. Just extras walking around with like a knife in their head, just talking to you. It's pretty crazy set to be on. It's cool.
That's awesome. Are you a big fan of the zombie vampire?
Yeah, I do like a lot. I love the vampire stuff. Like, I'm such like a Twilight nerd. I loved all the vampire stuff. I do. I love my
Did you
favourite
say
movie is
you're
The
a
Lost
Twilight
Boys.
nerd?
Yes, I like the movies Twilight. Kieran says, and I also my favourite movie was The Lost Boys. Do you a movie person?
Yeah.
Do you like The Lost Boys?
Yeah, but I'm still stuck on the fact that you haven't seen Game of Thrones and you like Twilight. You're killing me.
I know, I'm so weird. I got all the cheesy angles. I know.
I love it.
I will. Do you know what? One day, Lost? Remember the series Lost?
Yeah, of course.
It wasn't until years after that I went to the Blockbuster when they were still around.
What's a Blockbuster?
And got all the DVDs, the set, and actually watched it all and got into it years later. So I've got a feeling I'll do that with Game of Thrones as well. It's intense. I'm totally into this show right now, and I should be being paid because I promote it so much. I'm being serious. It's also on Netflix, is Peaky Blinders.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best series on TV I've ever seen.
When are you going to be on Peaky Blinders?
Don't worry, I've put it out there.
Awesome.
But who am I going to be on it? You've seen it.
Yeah. Well, they'll find someone.
They can't.
They'll find someone.
He's got his thing and his thing. Have you been watching it?
Yeah.
I don't fit in anywhere.
Yeah, we'll find a
I've
place.
tried to cast myself several times. I wanted to cast myself in Penny Dreadful as well.
Oh,
Did you watch Penny Dreadful?
Yeah, too sad. So sad. Yeah, what other shows do you want to be on? Now I'm so excited about what you want to be on.
Oh, my favourite shows.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's like if you would... Star Wars is my life, and I love everything about Star Wars. And I've been asked the question a lot, would I like to be in Star Wars? And of course, the experience of going on set and being a part of one of the biggest movies in history would be amazing. But then it may lose its effect once you're in it.
Yeah.
Because Star Wars is my escape. So imagine being in it. All of a sudden, you see everyone with their... You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, there are some things that are just beautiful left to... I want to go into the movies and just be like, sometimes I just want to enjoy a movie and sort of be hypnotised by the movie,
Well, I'll say this. Peter Capaldi was the biggest Doctor Who fan, and now he plays the Doctor, so...
Do you remember Doctor Who? Do you remember the English version of it?
It is an English version.
Oh, that's the English version? It still is? I didn't
Yeah.
know what the remake was.
Oh, yeah.
They did a real weird remake, and I was like, no, the original,
Yeah.
when I was like 10, was so good. Do you have it here in America?
Yeah. Yeah. We do the
show.
Doctor Who after show here at AfterBuzz.
There you go.
Plug that there. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Everybody needs to check out Rebirth on Netflix tomorrow, as well as season 3 of From Dusk Till Dawn when it returns on El Rey, whenever that may be. Soon. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nikki.
Thanks for having me, love.
Why don't you tell people where they can find you on Twitter and Instagram and all that good stuff?
Oh, all under Nicky Whelan, NICKYWHELAN. I hope you guys understand my accent.
Of course we do.
Because people think E is A and A is E and all this stuff. But anyway.
Awesome. Thank you. And everybody knows where to find me everywhere on AfterBuzz, everywhere at Yael Tygiel, YAELTYGIEL, and on my podcast, Intimate Interrogations. It's on iTunes. Sometimes it's filthy. Sometimes it's not. We'll see you next time. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.